What are the best active Kickstarter campaigns right now? Let me share with you what I think. Hi my friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Casper, the Boy Diviner, and I wanted to share with you my view of what are the best active Kickstarter campaigns right now. So if you're watching this in the future, there are chances that some of these decks are actually not existing, or they have moved on to being sold mass market, or even in the creator store. I guess you can still Google if the person didn't change their names. So there are 4 active Kickstarter campaigns right now that I really like. The rest are just honorable mentions that I'm going to quickly talk about. The first one I wanted to talk about is the Morandi Tarot. If you're someone into something quirky, if you actually like quirky pip decks or quirky Marseille appearing decks, this is the deck that is definitely up your alley. I really enjoy how cute the characters are in the majors, and the pips are so well drawn. Even though they're really simple, there's a sort of mystique to these cards, and if I had extra funds and if I wasn't doing my depth here, I probably would be getting the deck right now. But at this point in time, not for me. I'm gonna wait to see how it goes mass market. At this point in filming, the deck has not reached its target yet, so you could consider checking it out. All these links are down in the bottom and I get nothing from them. I'm just providing them for your information. The next deck I wanted to talk about is the Siren's Morandi Tarot deck. And I really like this deck because it's so soft and beautiful. Because it's so soft and beautiful and yet still like kind of defined. It reminds me of Scylla's newest Shimmering Veil Tarot, but just different. I don't know, it just reminds me of that because it has a kind of spiritual energy to it, and yet the colors and everything are still unique by itself. The only fear I have, as usual, because if you watch any of my Kickstarter views, is that I don't think the full deck is done right now. So the goal is to actually finish all 78 in times to come, and because of that, I generally won't feel comfortable, backing a deck, especially when I haven't seen any of the pips. I think most of the cards that appear in the campaign are the aces, the courts, and the majors. Generally cards that are like kind of important, people think, but to me pips are really important, so I just want to see what a pip looks like before I back a deck. This is of course including the reasons why I'm not backing is because of my depth here. The third most beautiful deck I found in this recent times is the Monochromatica deck. If the name itself wasn't clear, this is a deck that has all black and white art, and I think it's really beautiful. He has a triangle basically, so it's all like triangle background with images popping out of that triangle. You should check it out and see whether it vibes with you. For me, even though I do like black and white decks, I generally don't really work well with them, so I kind of prefer colorful decks now, just because they read better. I think only 35% of the deck's art is done. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm really not sure. He said something about 35%, and that didn't really make me feel safe. Even though if you really want to support him, go ahead. I'm just really cautious in things like that. The fourth and last deck that I wanted to talk about that I think is worth viewing is actually the Insecta Arcana. So the Insecta Arcana is a whole deck just based on insects. Really beautiful. If you enjoy Bug's Life, I think you enjoy this deck. I like the colors, I like how it looks, and it really intrigues me. I don't remember seeing if all the art is created. I don't think they actually showed all the cards, all 78. So I really have no idea what the progress is, and I'm guessing it's because of that lack of information that people are not backing the deck yet. The deck is also relatively expensive from what I know, including shipping, so it's not something I would really get for myself, even though I really enjoy the art. Maybe I shall wait for them to actually sell it in their eShop or something like that. Maybe then I would consider when all the deck has been completed. So I hope they actually see this and really think about whether they want to show how much of their deck is finished, so that people might be more encouraged to back it. Those were the 4 active Kickstarter campaigns that I really enjoy. Based on the art and what I've seen, the descriptions and the artists, they all seem pretty legit, minus some of the nickels that I mentioned. Apart from those, I feel like the art is legit. And Morandi was the first one I mentioned because I felt like it was the most complete out of all the decks, and the one that I would actually go for if I didn't have a depth tier going on. So there are another 4 decks that I feel like I can briefly mention because I think they were honorable mentions. I just don't enjoy the art as much, it's not my thing. And part of my channel, I kind of curate, right? I curate tarot decks to show you guys and through my tastes. But I thought it might be worthy to mention the rest because you might enjoy it, I just don't. Okay, so the first one is the Divine Mother Tarot deck. This art is not my thing, but if it is yours, you can consider getting that one. The Fox's Wedding deck is also not something I enjoy art-wise, but I thought it was well done. Objectively, I feel like the art is well done. It's just not to my taste. Another honorable mention is the Golden Circle Tarot. I objectively think it's a good collage deck. At the same time, I don't really enjoy collage decks. The only one that I sort of feel connected to is the Spolia Tarot that I really enjoy, and I don't need another one in my collection. But if you do want a collage deck, that could be something you look out for. The Khamsa deck is another deck that I thought was really interesting, but none of the minors are drawn, so I'm really wary of decks like this, especially when it's like simple line art, because simple line art kind of goes well with simple pips. And I don't really enjoy simple pips unless it's done something like the Morandi way or the Marseille way. So it really depends on your taste. I don't back decks until I see one pip. At least show me a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or a 5, you know? No aces, no chords, they don't count as pips for me. And the last one is actually the Astra Per Aspera Tarot deck. What a mouthful. Find it very hard to pronounce. And I do find the deck beautiful so far, but again, none of the minors are done. This makes me feel uncomfortable. And because of the high price point, I don't feel inclined to back it. But if you enjoy the art, go for it. Part of me also feels like that campaign has a few too many add-ons or rewards like tattoos, temporary tattoos. Yeah, I just kind of prefer someone concentrates on the deck. But again, this is all up to you. I already mentioned all of those factors in my previous Kickstarter video, so you can watch those to really enjoy and understand where I come from. But no shade to any of these campaigns. These 4 campaigns are great by themselves. I did enjoy them to some extent, or objectively know that the art might be something interesting for you guys, and that's why I mentioned them in this video, even though they are not my type. So just a quick summary, the 4 that I really like are the Morandi Tarot, the Siren's Melody Tarot deck, the Monochromatica, and the Insecta Arcana Tarot deck. Those 4, I like the art, and I think they are pretty well done. Apart from some of the niggles I mentioned, like how the minors are not being shared, or we don't know the progress as well, or it's not completed as much as I would like. So the 5 honorable mentions that I have today are the Divine Mother Tarot deck, the Fox's Wedding, the Golden Circle Tarot, the Khamsa deck, and the Astra Per Aspera Tarot. I hope I mentioned that right. And that's all for today. This is just a short video to share with you what I've seen on Kickstarter, and I hope you enjoyed it, okay? You take care, bye!